what things are picked banned away. We're already through the bans. One thing I will mention is Milio is also now available, and from what I've heard, is really damn strong, and it buffs up just about every meta AD carry on patch. So we'll see what the pairing will be for Ultra Prime. Ban's already flown through Jace, Lucian, Vi for Ultra Prime and Anyone's Legend, removing the Annie, Nico, and Zeri. Nico, I hope we get to talk about at some point today.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Nico ban. We'll return to that when it gets locked in, but it's just dawned on me, this is going to be the first Major League professional game of Milio that we get to cast here today, and instantly just blew one locked in. Like, this is a strong champion.
Yeah, not only is it really strong, but you mentioned the Kog'Maw, right? One thing that the Campfire does, it gives you so much extra range. When you're Kog'Maw, you have lethal tempo, you have the W as well, so you just outrange absolutely everything in the game. It's absurd. And one of the old school matchups when Aphelios first came out that was kind of considered a bit of a counter was Kog'Maw. So we're going to see this Milio and Kog'Maw as a duo in the bottom side. We'll see what Anyone's Legend Zorah has in tow and ready for it. I imagine something like the Thresh will likely come out, or you could just go that, of course, the Enchanter route, go the Lulu. You don't play anything kind of middle ground, you just try and match the scaling aspect, and that is exactly what Anyone's Legend will try to do here.
And isn't it funny that we're seeing Kog'Maw played with a priority on Milio over? Like, Kog'Maw Lulu is a pairing as old as time, and the new champion has kind of pushed that to the back seat. We'll see if that is a trend that continues throughout the LPL, or whether Milio kind of takes that top spot now. Syndra banned away. Lee Sin banned away from Xiaohao. That's kind of a signature for Xiaohao, so removing some of that aggression from the jungle.
Yeah, aggression gone. I think Anyone's Legend really do need a little bit of setup from the jungle to at least try and give themselves some avenues in the early game to try and play around. So something like even a Viego ban could go the distance here for Ultra Prime. Just another AD mid sort of skirmisher that can really help out this 2v2 in the mid jungle, and I really like the direction as well that Anyone's Legend have gotten with the Syndra plus that Lissandra ban away. Just two usually very difficult matchups for Ahri to navigate around. Now gone, that Forge can't necessarily lean on, still has things like the LeBlanc, or even potentially, I know it's pretty deep in his pool, but the Rise as well, something that pinz also on the opposite side used to lean on in spring and splits past.
Also, we mentioned Abyssal Mask. Rise up there in the potential Abyssal Mask abusers category.
Oh, Galio as well could come through, right? For Forge, it's definitely a pretty okay option. You can just kind of go DMAT, go Aftershock as well, and you kind of ignore the Ahri poke, always get lane priority for a very long time, and just move across the map with the Wukong. Always have the strongest skirmishes in the early game. And we mentioned earlier that top side, unfortunately, has moved across to those, shall we say, just front lines, just tanks normally. Sion, Ornn, Malphite, and it seems like Hery could be leaning on that, though he's going to go over to the Ksante, which is still as strong as you remember it from M-Side.
Yep, it was his most played last split as well. We did mention the Rumble being a flex pick. It could go into that jungle, giving some AP damage to the team. You've got your front line, or in fact, no, there's a Wukong there, so is that, it's got to be mid lane, right?
Mid
lane Rumble.
To be fair, Ksante as well can flex into the mid lane.
True.
It will be a double solo lane flex. It kind of just depends on what they feel like will give them the easier of the two matchups. I would imagine, however, that Ksante, you know, if they blind something a little bit, or go R5 here for ZDZ with something that's just kind of full tank, then I imagine they'll send the Ksante up towards the top side. If not, then potentially they'll send Rumble up there instead. We'll see, however, as we didn't talk about it, but the Viego did get locked in, so the 2v2 on both sides for the mid jungle should be particularly powerful. And with that Gragas lock-in, I guess it kind of just really depends on what Ultra Prime want to do with their 2v2s and who is more comfortable in which matchup.
We'll have to see. I'd anticipate the Kog'Maw goes bot lane, though, rather than mid. But yeah, I mean, Forge, known for his melee champions. Like, when you think of Forge, you think of, like, a Kali casting in this kind of thing. Yeah. So I can imagine melee bruisers could certainly fall into his pool as well. And it looks like they're not trading for the time being. So it could be Rumble up in that top lane against ZDZ in the hands of Hery. And I'm excited for that, because when you look at Hery's history as a player, like, he's played a lot of tanks over the last year or so, but back in made of SwordArt, joining Ultra Prime, zhiqiuyi joining Anyone's Legend as well. And I want to start off by talking about this bot lane, the changes therein, because Anyone's Legend, their bot lane previously was SwordArt. SwordArt's actually playing against his old team alongside Betty. Both players being replaced. It's Zorah alongside. That is, I believe, pronounced zhiqiuyi. I apologize if I mispronounce it. I apologize if I can't say it really quick just yet. I'll practice, though. I will practice. But they're up against Doggo and SwordArt, who are two players that I think have had a lot of public criticism levied towards them. But, hey, if you're going to have a good game, it's going to be on Kog'Maw and Milio.
Yeah, it has to be, right? It feels like it's just one of the strongest duos on patch. It's kind of just Milio anything. Just feels a little bit absurd, right? So I guess we'll hopefully get a pretty accurate gauge on just how strong this duo is together, as Rune's nothing too fishy, just skimming across all of them. And as for the junglers, both starting on reds, so we'll see what exactly the interesting path. No way. All right,
what?
stay 1 LPL, baby. Stay 1 LPL.
What?
I've missed it. I've missed it. I've missed it so damn much. Where's he going? He's going to the blue buff.
He was halfway through doing his buff. And he's just like, the voice has kicked in, and he's like, I must go. Flashes over the wall to go straight for the invade onto Ning's blue buff. I mean, what a way to start. What a way to start it all off. Ning, gonna walk across the ward here, you'd imagine? No. Yeah, okay, there we go. Spotted now on the chickens.
Yeah, does know that the ward is there, because you can see the blue ward icon. Just trying to kind of dance around it, see if he can avoid the vision, but we'll know that he's been spotted. And this invade from the top side should be successful from Xiaohao, because I don't think there's any information that would have spotted him out. So Ning is going to eventually get to his blue buff and just figure out that not only is the blue buff gone, but so is the Gromp. Could make a visit towards the mid lane. Has to find the charm to try and get the chain CC down. I think it'll be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, I don't think that one's going to happen. Xiaohao kind of losing a little bit of his tempo from that. And now Ning has spotted what's going on. He suddenly realized shenanigans were afoot. As he moves into the river, and potentially could try and make a counterplay himself, or perhaps a play towards the mid lane.
Maybe. CC can be there. Q3 and a W from Forge could definitely set up to at the very least blow pinz's flash, but won't be happening. We'll spot that the Krugs are there, Ning, and likely just go towards them so he has something to farm. That was a pretty, but I don't know what to call it. Psycho invade, probably the best way to hear it from Xiaohao, but it works.
Look, if there was one thing it was confident. Just flashes the pit instantly. But like when we take stock of what's actually happened here, Ning will finish off those Krugs because he's on 20 CS. Xiaohao already on 20 CS with 2 camps to go. We'll be able to get a bot score as well. So really, really solid start from Xiaohao. A fantastic bit of map manipulation from him as his bottom lane will go for the reset. Does get that Scuttle Crab. Might just go back towards the top side himself. Doesn't actually need to go for his blue buff just yet. He's already got the other one. And can save that so that he doesn't lose his topside camps.
Yeah, can just protect that second respawn of the Raptor camp. And that'll be exactly what just happened. So Ning will just go for the reset, won't look for any more camps on the top side, even though he should have had a pretty good idea that those top camps are going to respawn, but without priority from the mid lane at the very least, immediately he's going to go for that. Feels like it's a little bit too flippy. Just looks for that instead.
Finish his Raptors. Okay, they just left a couple of little ones. I thought that was like not a thing anymore. I thought you pretty much always clear all the little ones out.
Nah, it's you can, you know, tempo is what Xiaohao's game is, you know, and one thing I will definitely note is information game from Anyone's Legend has been pretty spot on so far, right? They just spotted Ning as well now on the Krugs. They spotted him at the Raptors on his first clear. Also got information on him once he cleared the opposite side Krugs. So Anyone's Legend have had a really, really good tabs on where the enemy jungler has been. And I expect this level of information to just continue whilst they try and scale up.
Yeah, pretty significant CS lead in that bottom lane as well for Anyone's Legend. And the wave, I believe, is fairly neutral too. So fantastic little start. In fact, it's pushing towards them. So not great for Doggo and SwordArt off the back of this early game. Is now trading with that cozy campfire in play. The range is absolutely insane on Kog'Maw. I mean, when you play Milio Caitlyn can hit towers from out of tower range with the cozy campfire. So that gives you some idea of like the ridiculousness of that range.
Yeah, and don't forget, that's only 2 points in the W there for Kog'Maw. Only level 4, but without the Caliber, right? Without the sniper, without the green gun, it's so difficult to answer back in range and in damage at all. So Anyone's Legends 2v2 on the bottom side is definitely going to struggle a little bit, but with this brief window of lane priority, they should be able to sneak away this dragon. And I feel like this is just a build-up of the first 5 minutes of play from Xiaohao, all the tempo he's built up. Has Ning on the top side right now. Information good, because they know he can only really be up there to get farm, and they'll secure this dragon for free.
Fantastic stuff here coming out from Anyone's Legend. Like, dominance in that bottom lane, being able to build a lead for themselves, being able to crash that wave and then move it into a dragon as well. So really good start, especially for this brand new bottom lane that we're seeing for Anyone's Legend. As Ning now has to try and find an answer. Knew that Xiaohao was on the bottom side, so he'll go for these Krugs once again. Perhaps could go for something up on the top side. He's not going to hit 6 off of these Krugs, though. Feel like a dive onto a full health Gragas that has ult would be tough. He might be the one getting dived instead. He dashes back in onto the Krugs, takes a big old chunk, has flash available here, but the stun going to come on through, flashed away from, knocked under the tower, but will survive. Hery now getting the damage down, but already 1 kill. Hery drops the equalizer, but forced to flash away.
Forced to flash away. 2v2 doesn't go the way that Ultra Prime want it to go. Anyone's Legend just get an easy collapse on. And again, it's just a pretty big build-up of all the information they have on Ning and where he should likely be. I'm loving the early map reads here from Anyone's Legend, and it's going to result in first blood. Kill goes into the Gragas' back pocket, so it's kind of just going to remain in isolation, right? It would have probably felt a little bit better to have that go into the Viego's wallet, but nonetheless, you're happy with the takeaway.
You certainly are, and like honestly, I'm really impressed by Anyone's Legend so far. Ning being read like a book. Like, you can tell Xiaohao has been seriously practicing during the break, right? This guy is on form as a CDZ setting this play up. They almost just one-shot Ning straight off of the bat.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what they're waiting for. Maybe perhaps thinking that he had the decoy, which is why the CC was held onto for so long. Also, the initial body slam from the CDZ hit a small Krug. I don't actually think it hit Ning, unfortunately. So that's what made the play be so delayed, and perhaps kind of prevented them from potentially taking down Hery as well, as Xiaohao didn't want to full commit. Once Hery recognizes that Rumble can put out an immense amount of burst damage at level 6-7, especially with the Ignite. Very easy to 100-0 target. As we come back out of that replay, Xiaohao is here on the top side, knows his Herald's being started up because of that ward in the pit. The question is, will he contest it? The lanes the way they are, and first move also from SwordArt. Seems like Ultra Prime will at least find some reprieve in that neutral, and we'll see what gold they can try and claw back from the continuous map plays that have been going on from Xiaohao specifically.
Yeah, they were moving SwordArt up, but he's going to return to that bottom lane to help Doggo farm up. So Herald taken pretty much for free. I feel like we may have a small respite here to talk for a second, Jamada. So I do want to kind of visit the conversation of win conditions, because we've not really hit it that hard. Feels like scaling on the side of Ultra Prime, certainly with the Kog'Maw, with the Rumble, it feels good. Like, how do AL deal with all of this strength in the Kog'Maw, in the range that's going to be available for this composition? Apparently the answer is beat the crap out of Hery in the top lane. Another kill for Xiaohao.
Yeah, really easy for Xiaohao. No flash on Hery, so the cast just comes in. Easy setup as you like. Nothing much more to talk about. And talking about win conditions, I think for Ultra Prime, it's just about keeping the Kog'Maw alive. Joe, I feel like the unfortunate scenario is, a lot of the time, it's a lot of damage coming out, but Ghost's just going to be traded. Maybe Zorah eats a bit of a meaty trade on the back end, but so much range from the Kog'Maw.
Champion, man. He just runs at you. He just runs at you, pops Ghost, and it's like, what are you going to do, fight him? No, he's a literal turret. You can't fight him, you just got to try and run. Wow, yeah. Incredible damage coming out from Doggo. The question will be, though, can Anyone's Legend shut him down, right? You've got an Ahri, you've got a Viego, you've got a Gragas as well, which can be fantastic for ruining the positioning of the Kog'Maw. Like, maybe that's enough.
Yeah, so this will continue to be the question, right? The games will likely still play out in a similar manner to how a lot of the MSI games went, right? You know, which AD carry has the most gold? How quickly can the enemy team murder the enemy AD carry? Or, retrospectively, you know, keep their AD carry alive, right? And I feel like for Ultra Prime, they actually have arguably much stronger tools at peel and also kind of dive and engage. So I feel like even though they are a bit of a deficit right now, as long as they don't bleed out too much gold, they can kind of just continue at this kind of pace, and eventually the Kog'Maw will just come online, right? It's so absurd. You go Gwintsu's, you go also, I believe Runant is kind of like the popular second item, but sometimes you can see other variations come out, right? The Kraken Slayer as well, of course, don't forget. Change from true damage to magic, because apparently AD carries need to deal more magic damage. Smile, as you're going to see again. It's just so easy to space. Like, what are you supposed to do without anywhere near as much range as what Doggo has available?
It's not even spacing, is it? It's just, I have longer range than you. There's like no spacing required when you've got that cozy campfire in play. Dragon's coming up though, Jamada, in 5 seconds time. And it does feel like maybe with the strength of this Kog'Maw, perhaps this could be a window for the side of Ultra Prime to look towards.
Potentially, but I feel like Doggo is currently sat on a lot of gold. Probably wants to reset, right? Cole fully stacked up. Not too much gold in the sense of components spent. They're going to actually put the Herald down, so could maybe get a little more gold in his back pocket, Doggo, if he can get close enough to the tower. I feel like he's not going to, though, and it's just going to be one plate into Ning's back pocket. So Herald definitely feels a little bit lackluster as the collapse comes in from Anyone's Legend, but you can just see a lot of respect being paid, and now the Dragon will be started up by Anyone's Legend instead, and because of the Herald charge holding the wave where it was, it means that it's a big slow stack.
He's TP'd into the play. He's behind right now. SwordArt and Ning could be in trouble as Dragon just going to be burnt on through. But I don't think that Anyone's Legend just want Drake. They want to play. They've seen ZDZ, but can they escape him? In fact, that's the clone, I'm pretty sure. And they will just about get away with their lives.
Yeah, they will indeed. Second Dragon comes in for Anyone's Legend, and Decoy is what gets sent in to the mixer.
Though, like, it feels pretty good for Ultra Prime. Sure, you lost to Cloud Drake, but look at Hery up at the top side. Solo in the top lane for God knows how long, because ZDZ TP down. He just gets, what, a 30 CS lead and plates to boot?
Yeah, 2 entire plates for free after being picked on. Maybe losing a little bit as well because of the 2v2 before that. Definitely feels really, really good about the situation right now. Probably pretty close as well, I imagine, to first item. So Hery definitely recovered a huge amount from this teleport play from ZDZ. ZDZ does get his team the Dragon, though, and it will be the Mountain Soul that will eventually come through for one of these teams, and that will feel pretty damn good. But that's also, you know, symptom one of the changes, right? The Unleash teleport being shifted from 14 minutes to 10 means that we will see a lot more top laners join their teams for second Dragon fights if it's available for them.
Yeah, bring back Morgan. That's what I'm saying, because he was a big fan and teleported down into that bottom lane back on WE. That's a long time ago now. But you can see the Rage Blade coming on through. So we've been talking about scaling. Kog'Maw has scaled. We're in the late game.
That's it. He's full build.
He's got his Rage Blade. Yeah, it's over. It's over. I am, of course, being facetious. But big damage to be expected from Doggo when his Ghost is available. If the bottom lane from Anyone's Legend does miss position, that's the thing. He will chase you down. There is no escape. So it can be incredibly difficult to try and get onto that guy.
Yeah. It's going to be quite obnoxious for a very long time. And I will say, you know, I mentioned earlier, because you asked, you know, scaling, how will that work in this kind of game? Ultra Prime, very, very flexible in terms of their tools, right? A lot of non-committal engage, a lot of very committal engage, but also peel inside of a lot of those tools. For Anyone's Legend, you know, it's a little more nuanced, not only in, you know, defending your Aphelios, but also trying to get on top of this Kog'Maw is generally going to be quite difficult, just because not only the range that Doggo has, it's pretty obnoxious, right? But being able to not only catch him off guard if he's mispositioned, but then having to try and chain CC him down with the Milio there, who can obviously cleanse some of that CC, right? If he's not the one in the mix, it's going to feel pretty damn difficult. And I feel for Anyone's Legend, they need to try and just continue to snowball in the terms of the objectives, right? Try and suffocate the map in a little bit now with some of the lead that you have. Make the game difficult for Ultra Prime to actually maneuver between the lanes.
Yeah, the Shirelli is finished off there for SwordArt too. So, you know, we're talking about the cleanse being important, but Doggo also with Ghost and Shirelli so fast, it's going to be difficult to get on top of him unless he mispositions. Punishing mistakes could be the big difference maker in this one. Ultra Prime starting the Herald off here, but a full showing pretty much from Anyone's Legend. pinz in the bottom side, but has teleport available.
Does, and teleport's going to come through now. But it's Ultra Prime with the positioning, Joe.
They might just finish this before the fight. 2K on the Herald here as ZDC's there. pinz goes in. Hery next one. Moonlight Vigil only onto one here. pinz forced out as Doggo is untouched so far. And he's charging forwards as the top laner for Anyone's Legend goes down. Ultra Prime just kind of walking through the fight.
Yeah, they really did. A little bit split, but at the end of the day, I feel like Ultra Prime just slightly better positioning. Even though they were inside the choke, it's very difficult to punish, it felt like, for Anyone's Legend. With the split off there from the top side, ZDZ couldn't really find a good angle to get a cast, gets separated, gets taken down very easily, and no answer can come through from Anyone's Legend because Doggo just charges at the entirety of Anyone's Legend with SwordArt in his back pocket.
Yeah, he just like watched Anyone's Legend blast out their cooldowns, blast out their ultimates, and was like, okay, you got nothing in the tank. Time to go. Just runs forward. Not a bad cast to try and start it off. Doggo almost caught by it.
Yeah, almost caught by it, but it's that equalizer that sets off this massive walk forward spree from Doggo. And look how far he's all attacking from as well. It's so obnoxious. And with no tools to punish on the side of anyone's legend, it's very free to just walk forward and do what he wants. And again, look at, like, what's he supposed to do, man?
3 autos. It's only 16 minutes. Yeah, that's a powerful little dog, but he's being jumped on right now. There's another combo onto him. Doggo low on HP and taken down. Huge dive coming out from anyone's legend. The equalizer not enough.
No, it wasn't. Xiaohao also had him for a brief second. Opens up, starts to tear down the health bars of the Ultra Prime members. The Herald will be taken down. All 5 members still available for anyone's legend, but the health bars blinking on both sides. The Dragon up, I feel like maybe just a quick reset. Try and make it back towards the Dragon before Doggo can actually be available on the map. Issue is, it feels like Ultra Prime can just clear this wave, walk into the bottom side river, and then just hold the chokes if they want to. But with health bar so low, they also still need to reset, so we could just get another 5v5 on the map.
And I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. This is what I want to see. I feel like there's not that many kills in this game, but there's been a lot of posturing. There's been a lot of potential fights happening in this one. AL starting the Drake off. This would be their 3rd if they could finish it off. Ultra Prime fighting for mid Cryo, but I don't think they're going to be fast enough to contest this one. Nope. They're moving towards the mid lane to try and answer with a tier 1 tower.
Yeah, health a little bit too high on this tower, though. They can definitely try to chunk it down. And maybe they just, oh my god, full commit.
Look at Zorah! Zorah almost gets one-shot by the equalizer there. Forge goes in, Moonlight Vigil does a bit of damage. But actually, Ultra Prime committing to the fight, not getting a kill, and not getting the mid tower either.
Yeah, it just feels so bad, but it's really good play from anyone's legend. They're even going to get the first tower of the game on the bottom side. pinz going to claim a little bit of extra gold, and just generally really strong decision-making across the board. It's this part here at the very start. Really nice from Xiaohao. Just good presence of mind to go in, blow the flash. Just for ZZ to follow up. Doggo gets taken down with one minor overstep, and then brief open up here. You can see the damage available. Really, really strong. Stolen away form, of course. Tower will be traded on the other side of the map, so still kind of blow for blow, but it is this Dragon's stacking. That is the pretty big issue here for Ultra Prime. Even though they've got a very strong 5v5 team composition, so far they haven't been able to properly, you know, get a strong team fight outside of that first Herald. And now they sit 3 dragons down. They need to find the next one.
So, fantastic start here for anyone's legend. Can they keep the ball rolling? Because they got the one good dive onto the Kog'Maw. But can they repeat it? Because, like you say, Xiaohao flashing to, or going forwards to force the flash, using that ultimate, like kind of blowing everything to get that flash out. And then ZDZ able to jump forwards and finish off the combo. Whether or not they're going to be able to pull off another combo like that later on, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be all down to execution. Equalizer just blasted out in the mid lane here. Just the tower will be taken. And I love the willingness from Hery to use that ultimate pinz, jumping in, looking for a charm, but pulled back by Forge himself as Ning. Low on HP, they want dive for the kill. Heal comes out across the team, and Forge dashing away as well. But AL looking fantastic in these fights.
Yeah, they really are. Just a slight step further ahead than Ultra Prime, even though there's so many strong tools, right? We've spoken about the Kog'Maw and Milio to death. That Moonlight Vigil was so close to connecting. Maybe a crit would seal Doggo's fate. Not gonna be able to take down this tier 1, but it just feels like the decision-making, the micro decision-making inside of these team fights is just a step ahead of Ultra Prime, and the tools not quite being layered in on top of each other quite smoothly enough from Ultra Prime to take down the key targets, or rather, on top of the Anyone's Legend side from Ultra Prime to take down some of these key targets. They need to try and find this Aphelios a little bit more consistently, try and make sure that they're not allowing themselves to get massive comboed as well by ZDZ.
Yeah, try and get a dive in onto him, but whether or not that's going to happen, we'll have to wait and see. But now, Ultra Prime, they're just going to start the Baron off. I mean, Kog'Maw, probably the fastest Baron taker in the game, aside from maybe a Thane. But I think he has the edge, honestly. And they're just going to brute force this one. Hery with ultimate available. AL have to play into Ultra Prime. This could get dicey.
This is so bold. This is so bold. ZDZ. ZDZ's got Cask, but I just don't feel like Anyone's Legend really want to risk the flip, right? There's not really much a reason for it. Could just try and keep them away from this tier 1 though. Pick this one up. And again, you know, Ultra Prime making the decision. This equalizer could just save them by the skin of their teeth, but that's so much damage onto Zorah.
I mean, like, if I'm Hery right now, just the second I see Zorah, I'm ulting. because he basically one-shots the Lulu. He's 3 levels above him, has that Night Harvester. That is mega damage on the Equalizer. With the Equalizer down, I feel like it's kind of hard for Ultra Prime to really contest on the map.
Yeah, it does feel like the sort of soft engage that the Rumble Equalizer can provide is enough of a gap closer for the rest of the team, right? For Ning and Forge maybe to get on top of Zorah or on top of the Aphelios. But without it, it does feel like they all definitely struggle, and they have been struggling without it. Hery's Equalizers generally this game have been really, really strong as well. I think it has to be noted, even though Ultra Prime are definitely struggling in the 5v5s, I feel like his ultimates have been pretty consistent and on the ball. It just was like, again, Ultra Prime recognizing these small, or rather, anyone's legend, recognizing these small mistakes in Ultra Prime's map movements and their decisions, their rotations, and just punishing them appropriately every single time.
Do you know, one of the funny things is I feel like anyone's legend have been playing better so far this game, and they are ahead so far this game. I'm still kind of thinking of Ultra Prime as the favorite, just because of this Kog'Maw, right? The fact that they've got this Kog'Maw with a Milio to support him, and with the way that the waves were changed, right? There's no way for anyone's legend to punish it significantly in the early game.
Yeah.
He's been able to pretty much scale for free. pinz, like, if there was an Ahri at MSI, he would have been permanently bought. You just can't do that. As Hery getting jumped on, has to flash away. Charm does land, though. pinz kind of losing the trade, and here's the Equalizer. Ning's in onto the play as well, and it's all gone a bit Pete Tong for anyone's legend. As Forge looking to finish off Xiaohao here, with the jungler going down just as Dragon spawns. It's disaster for anyone's legend.
That's not the way that this final Dragon, potentially for the soul, needed to go for anyone's legend. pinz, Xiaohao just looking for a pick, right? Trying to find an off-tempo pick behind the pit. Gets spotted out on vision and just collapsed on super easily. Definitely like the idea, I suppose, but Ultra Prime one step ahead of the curve in the way ZDZ steals this, right? There's a smite available, right? There we go.
There we go.
Dude, I have to get used to it.
It was the zoom in. It was the dramatic zoom in that did it.
Always gets you.
Do you still have the jungler dead for 5 seconds, but no shenanigans on towards the Baron here from Ultra Prime. They're going to take the Dragon and walk away with that and perhaps go for some resets. Hery spotted by the Scryer's blue. And it looks dicey to start with, but then it's like, okay, you've blown everything. That's a rumble, and you're stuck in a choke point.
Yeah, exactly. Equalizer also gets a little bit extra value just because the pushback knockup on to Xiaohao from the Cyclone just gets a bit more damage in. Feels good for the Ultra Prime side. And now with no Dragon Soul available, hold on a minute.
Who needs setup? It's all just carnage here, the Equalizer. Pretty huge, but they're able to walk it out. Big damage onto Forge, but he'll be able to reset. TP is available for him. Neither team can start the Baron. And I mean, I feel like the pace of the game is picking up, Jamada.
Yeah, it definitely is. That Equalizer again from Hery. So strong. I'm surprised that they're even able to walk out without taking a little bit of damage on the way out, just hugging the wall really tightly. Dude,
it's halfway off cooldown. Like,
yeah, it's so
barely got a cooldown.
If you remember when Rumble, I think it was actually just last year, MSI, right? When Rumble Jungle came into Meta, maybe it was 2021. One of the changes, and one of the more recent changes as well that they gave back to him was the cooldown on the ultimate, right? And especially once you hit level 11, it just feels like it's always up. He can ult. He's only got about 20% ability haste at the moment off that Night Harvester, maybe a little bit more because of the passive. And it's like 45 seconds, man. It's always up and available because I guess Riot just decided that it needs to all be available. Simple as that. And again, Hery being so proficient at them can just throw them out for poke sometimes, right? If he really needs to. He'll just be able to get a massive chunk out of Zorah. Or anyone else.
It's great in combination with Ning, right?
Yeah.
Well, where the Wukong can just spin around, knock everyone up, keep them inside of the Equalizer. And on top of that, if you've got that much threat onto them with the Equalizer, with the zone control that offers, means Doggo has freedom. Fight about to kick off though, as anyone's legend. Can't let this one go for free. Looking at the Scuttle Crab, I think they need to be looking at the Baron instead though. Trying to find some damage. CDC finally arriving on the scene. Are we really good at 50-50 this? The first game of LPL and a big fight kicking off here. There's Ultra Prime low on HP, but they get the first kill. And we'll walk away with their lives.
Definitely gonna be able to scavenge away some things here, as that was a very funky looking
what was that?
It
charmed him back over the wall?
That was strange, Munch. I've never seen anything like that. I'm not gonna lie. But I think the Baron probably just about been staved off. A re-teleport in, so Ultra Prime really want to burn through this because they know they can with the Kog'Maw. Forge, almost in trouble, but so tanky that they don't want to jump on him, anyone's legend. And now with all the ultimates down, it feels like the contest is going to be so difficult. It has to be a 50-50.
Forge moving forwards, has the knockup, but uses it on the Baron here. ZDC has teleport. He's going to rejoin this play. It's going to be a 50-50 as Forge looks for Xiaohao. He jumps into the pit. Ning low on HP, but Xiaohao's going to go down. That should guarantee the Baron. Prime get it. Can they find more as well? ZDC on the front line as they jump on towards the Aphelios, but they can't get him. And it's a great cast out from ZDC. pinz too early on the charm though, and Ning walks away. Forge playing bouncer for the rest of the squad, but Gale force in. And it's a beautiful little kill. AL looking for 2 off the back of the Baron. Make it 3.
We'll find 3 members here. Anyone's legend, even though they don't prevent the Baron. Very tenacious attempts from Ultra Prime to secure the objective. They will get 3 kills and wipe it, specifically off Doggo, I think, is the big thing. Who was at that 2-item spike. That's why they wanted to go for that. I felt like Ultra Prime just get a replay immediately. This teleport feels really good for ZDZ, a really strong angle. Forge does his best to try and buy space, doesn't quite hit Xiaohao's W, but really good from Ultra Prime to not DPS the Baron down whilst the junglers inside the pit. They secure it, but then it's about the turnaround outside, right? The equalizer takes out Zorah on the backside, can't get away from that. Doggo, unfortunately, victim of the Gragas, who was in the mix of it from the beginning. And it just feels like for Ultra Prime, there was no real way to play out this fight, with the exception of just trying to retreat all up as 5 as in unison, while they try and turn and make kills happen. And they get punished for it.
I mean, absolute carnage. And that's exactly what I wanted at the first game of this split. Look at Hery's scoreboard right now. He's having a straight up barbecue in the top lane. 3-1 and 3. He's got his 2 items. That equalizer is burning through health bars. In the meantime, Doggo just quietly scaling up. Now as a stopwatch as well for this follow-up fight. pinz moving forwards. Gets absolutely chunked by the Electro Harpoon.
So much burst damage from that Night Harvest as well, helping that. But now, anyone's legend, they're a little bit split off here. I think, yeah, Aphelios will be able to get around. Ultra Prime, though, here as 5 with all ultimates. And we've seen how much burst damage Hery's been able to find again and again with these equalizers. ZDZ, however, could have maybe had an angle, still going to look for it. You have to imagine it's so on point. Both the top lanes with their ultimates, super strong. There's another equalizer.
Comes on in, zhiqiuyi backs away, and it might just be Ultra Prime getting the dragon. It's going to be 50-50, and he gets it, the soul! Taken by anyone's legend. It's a dicey play from Ultra Prime and punished heavily. Cyclone in, but there's no follow-up from the rest of the team. Wild Growth in play, and zhiqiuyi will grab another pinz to grab the kill. There's no Baron on the map for anyone's legend, but I don't think they care. They've got soul.
Yeah, they've got Mountain Soul. Ning dead, Forge dead, Hery no equalizer. They know they can step forward now for a long, long time. At the very least, get an inhibitor. We'll see how much they're willing to try and take out of this base, because it's a pretty big window for them to do a lot of damage. Baron minions might kind of delay things a little, but I don't think it's going to be too much. But by the looks of it, anyone's legend, seems like they're content with just the inhibitor.
All they're going to take for now. They had 10 seconds to work with, but I get it. Against a Kog'Maw, I could understand playing that one safe, to be quite honest. But they'll be able to clear out this entire jungle on the way out as well. And I'm surprised that Ultra Prime were bold enough to 50-50 this trade.
Yeah, so am I, but they go for it anyway. Xiaohao
60
just wins out. That's tough. You see it a lot. 50-50 doesn't work out. Soul goes over. Like you mentioned, 60 HP. The difference between anyone's legend having Soul and not a Ning. Kind of just haphazardly going in. Does definitely keep the rest of his team alive for doing it. So a bit of a self-sacrificing play at the very least. But still, the end result is that Mountain Soul is in the back pocket of anyone's legend. And now they can just focus on the Baron in 2 minutes time. And it's up to Ultra Prime really to try and find another window where they can sneak in front of that Baron pit again. But with mid lane priority, which should always be anyone's legends now with that mid lane inhibitor, it's going to be difficult as a lot of confidence here. zhiqiuyi,
yeah. I mean, he's on 3 items. Like, this is still a 3-item Aphelios, even if it's against Kog'Maw. He's still an absolute monster, and that Storm Razor means, especially with Calibre, you really chunk people out on that first auto attack. So, got to be cautious. And Medjai's there for pinz as well, who's on 3 items too. So, certainly, like, massive late game scaling, 40 minutes plus, sure, it's maybe still Ultra Prime, but that feels like a long way away. That feels like almost an impossible task at this point, because anyone's legend, they're knocking on the door already. Cyclone in, here's the combo with the equalizer. Is terrible. And his ning just taken down alone. It feels like Ultra Prime are just not on the same page as one another.
Yeah, not this time around. I do feel like the equalizer may be a little harsh. I think it's just because the Gale Force comes out so quickly. Just makes the engage look a little bit disgruntled. That was a flash forward from pinz, but nothing will come of it. So just flash kind of burnt. They might be able to get this inhibitor tower either way, Joe. I think probably a second inhibitor on its way.
Yeah, so 2 inhibs taken by Anyone's Legend. I think they can push for the end, though. They do have to retreat once again. It's a minute until the Baron comes up. And I feel like that will be the last opportunity for Ultra Prime to try this combo. Get the Cyclone and the Equalizer with Doggo following up on damage. That's the moment where we need to see that come together.
Yeah, absolutely. Ardent Sensor comes in for SwordArt as well. Very, very powerful on this patch. Buffed up the numbers and the Runat. So that's 2 really big spikes up in damage now for Doggo, which he should be able to use. Has the flash, so can reposition, but ZDZ has been so on point time and time again with Cast, whether it's been knocking Doggo into the fight, into the mix-up, or just away so he can't DPS. Ultra Prime, they need to find that one Miracle Team fight, get that Baron, and then try and lay it over in towards the Elder and keep themselves alive. But it all is likely to come from Hery and Doggo. Those are the 2 members you have to look out for Ultra Prime.
Check out ZDZ on the map, though. He's got a deep old flank on this one.
Boy.
Doggo could be in trouble if the cask can land. IL going to pull the trigger, though, as Doggo moves on forward. Getting damage down onto Zorah, onto pinz. ZDZ, his chance to go in is kind of passed. Ultra Prime no longer flanked by him. He's not going to be able to find a window.
Yeah, really strange. You wonder, why not just flash over the wall, look for it, right? Get a summoner spell out of Doggo, even if you throw the ultimate for it. It's always going to be worth. Now, minions, they're pushing on the top side, and it's just going to give Anyone's Legend the window to go back towards this Baron and probably just burst it down for free, right? Hery has to come in with a massive equalizer, and Ning has to maybe win the 50-50. Delegating Forge towards those base minions, but I feel like it's just going to burn down too quick.
Yeah, they're going to shred this, and unless Ning could pull out some kind of miracle, this will be Anyone Legends Baron. Ning moving forwards. Are we going to 50-50 again? Surely not. Ning moves into the pit, and this time it's Xiaohao again. Zorah survives with Wild Growth there. So Ultra Prime look for a little bit more. Nobody dies, and it will just be Ultra Prime getting... Oh, yeah, no. Anyone's Legend getting themselves a Baron.
It's fine. It's fine. First day, right? First
They're
day
on the wrong side of my screen, and it broke my brain for a second there.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
1 week was not a long enough break.
No, it was not. Not in the slightest. But Anyone's Legend do what Ultra Prime couldn't. They get away with the Baron pretty much scot-free. And now they can just set up around this Elder. And not that they really need it, to be honest with you. I think just being able to bait in Ultra Prime for a... Oh, Doggo, no. Flash.
It's not ideal, is it? It's not ideal, is it?
It's not at all.
Frost buying a lot of time and space there, but the ultimate not available. Ning won't be slowed down. There we go, Charm with the equalizer there. Doggo goes down too.
That's game.
Equalizer to try and buy space for his team, but it ain't enough. Doggo getting caught out, and that'll be AL walking this one home. Yeah,
they will walk it home. A little bit anticlimactic, has to be said, but Doggo just gets caught out in the mid lane. Not sure what he was doing there. Maybe just looking for a reset. Hard to know. Anyone's Legend, they don't care. They're still going for the fight, but I think it's going to be in vain, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the attempt. I feel like you've got to go for one last-ditch effort, but Anyone's Legend stacking those Drakes early on, and who cares about Kog'Maw? Who cares about Milio? Not Anyone's Legend, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, they didn't indeed. CS lead as well, split up in the early game stages there. What xiqiuyi. So it felt like, even though in theory the matchup should be moderately rough, handled that one really, really well, the Anyone's Legend bottom side. So it does kind of beg the question now, what will Ultra Prime do in terms of adaptation? Where will they land in terms of side select, and what exactly will they look to do when it comes to the Milio? Will they look for the Kog'Maw pairing again? Will they go towards... I think the Lucian was actually banned away alongside the Zeri. Those are the 2 AD carries off the drafting pool. Still a couple of other options, right? You still had things like the Varus there available as well. Something that definitely would have benefited from so many of these AD item changes. So really up to them. I just feel like the map movement for Anyone's Legend in the early game, right? I think the first 15 minutes, the reading of Ning was sublime. It just felt like Ning had not too many options. It secured the early dragon stacking, and it felt like Ning was kind of out of the game for a large portion of the early, to a point where it felt a little bit difficult for Ultra Prime to reasonably contest a lot of objectives until maybe that first or second Herald. But beyond that, Anyone's Legend, it felt like just kind of had them in their back pocket the entire game.
Yeah, honestly, like Xiaohao, masterclass in the early game. That first clear, the way he kind of manipulated Ning was really, really fast. I mean, the level 1 or level 2 flash over the back of Baron Pit just to go in for the invade. Really fantastic stuff to see. Felt like Ultra Prime, you know, I get the composition, I get the theoretical game plan, but it doesn't feel like the coordination is there, you know? Like, Doggo getting caught out a couple of times, like the combo with the Cyclone and the Equalizer never really hitting. Hery was doing a lot of damage. Like, I expect him to be top in the table in terms of damage, but it was never damage that like mattered, if that makes sense. In some of the early skirmishes it did, but a lot of the time we'd see the Equalizer go in, it would do damage, it would zone a bit, but there's no follow-up from the rest of the team. There's no way to actually convert that damage into kills and convert it into a fight.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest issue, right, for Ultra Prime, was the damage was definitely there, but I feel like the general lack of consistent hard CC, like proper lockdown, right, really did kind of hurt their ability to kill those key targets. So maybe that is the change, right? You keep something like the Rumble, pick up something like perhaps the Maokai, and pick up another AD source for one of the solo lanes, and just try and actually make sure that zhiqiuyi is not able to move outside of that. It felt like whenever Ning went in, Ning died, and even though the Equalizer normally was on top of him and pretty strong, because no one else could follow up, it didn't really matter, and the turnaround was always there for Anyone's Legend, just because not only was it, of course, about the Aphelios, but ZDZ, so many strong casks and, you know, big team fight splitting ultimates meant that it could never be chained together well for Ultra Prime.
Yeah, tough one. But Anyone's Legend, like, great scrapping, as you'd expect. I feel like if there's one thing no one's ever criticized of Anyone's Legend, it's they love a scrap. They love a skirmish. Like, that is always the way for this team. And it feels like zhiqiuyi kind of fits into that style, right? He was positioning aggressively on that Aphelios, like Gale forcing forwards, willing to be a bit of a playmaker and use that Moonlight Vigil as well. ZDZ, also great little game on the Gragas, like multiple good combos. The pick in the mid lane onto Doggo, like early on in the game, great combo to set that one up. Felt like, all in all, I'm quite pleased with Anyone's Legend for game number 1.
Yeah, definitely a really, really strong showing. SwordArt dealt 451 damage, apparently. I guess maybe the passive
most of his kit goes over to Doggo, right?
Yeah, so I guess when the passive damage comes through, it just doesn't credit Milio with damage. So I'm sure there's going to be loads of funny memes in Twitch chat every time there's a Milio in the game. Haha, less than 1,000 damage.
I will
and
say,
stuff like
though,
that.
Like 450 damage, that's like, what, 10 auto attacks? Whole game? Like,
what was Bro doing?
Milio to not do that much damage, but I mean, come on. Like, one Q late game surely does that.
Jokes aside, a little bit. A little bit awkward. Jokes aside, though, really, really strong game from Anyone's Legend, like you mentioned. And, you know, I was a little bit concerned, honestly, with the direction of the early draft and even pending how they finished it, right? But I just feel like they outbrained Ultra Prime. And in those key moments, with the big team fights around the neutrals, it just felt like they had a better understanding of how the team fights had to go, as opposed to, even though Ultra Prime, I think, had the ideas, they couldn't quite find the execution, right? And I think some of that limited by draft, some of it just limited also by gameplay and the way that Ning and Hery, as a duo, tried to find those key combo engages, not being able to actually get any additional lockdown from the rest of the team, kind of meant that the team fighting was a bit of a struggle bus.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, they've been, like you say, outbrained, but like Ning and SwordArt, both Worlds finalists, Ning, Worlds Finals MVP. You'd expect them to be big in the brain department, but